Hey there, third grade, Mr. Xander here. Nowadays, when we need to go somewhere, it's pretty simple to get there, even if this place is someplace we've never been before. There's smartphone apps that will guide us to our destination, and you can even hook them up into your car. Would you believe, though, that hasn't always been the case? You see, before GPS was readily available in phones and in vehicles, we could just print off directions using the internet. Before that, there were road maps, and road maps would come in all different shapes and sizes. So you kind of had to figure out how to read this and drive at the same time. And sometimes, they're huge! Maps come in all different shapes and sizes. We've got foldable ones for state maps. We've got foldable laminated maps for local landmarks and destinations. And if you're a big fisherman, you can get a huge guide full of maps for the state of Minnesota. And if you're still trying to find your destination after all that, I guess you could just ask a friendly stranger for directions. But luckily we do have maps, right? We have tons of them, and they're all over the place. So if we need to figure out a place to go, we just go. Let's go.
I am actually on my way out the door because I am heading to the New Prague School District office. Fortunately, I'm not quite sure how to get there, so we're going to ask for some directions. Hello, Kyle. Kyle.
Well, hey there, Mr. Xander.
You know how to get to the New Prague School District head office, right?
Oh. New Prague School District office. That's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, super easy. First, you're going to take a left at the road where there's a bunch of cows playing soccer, and then you're going to head north for 17 minute-hour seconds. And then at some point, you're going to see a group of scarecrows, and they're going to be standing upside down in a cornfield, and you're going to yell, "Ooga booga," really loud, and they'll point to the west. But you're going to go east and head towards that water tower that's full of Hawaiian punch. And when you see a pack of wild pigs running across the road towards Candyland, you'll know you've gone too far. At that point, turn around and head back towards the golden rainbow of unicorn star power, and then you'll be at your destination. Now, you'll tell the Frankenstein monster that's guarding the door that you're here to see the principal, and then they'll let you in.
What?
I think I was pretty clear.
Oh, no.
So as you can see, taking directions from somebody can be a little bit difficult.
Where am I?
Why don't we start with a map? Here's a map of Minnesota. There's a lot going on here, right? A lot to look at. There's names all over the place, there's lines and colors. What does it all mean? Luckily, when we're trying to make sense of a map, we do have some tools that can help us get the job done. See, if we remember the name totals, we can read a map. Total stands for title, orientation, date, author, legend and key, and scale. All of these things are on any quality map and are necessary for understanding what a map is trying to tell us. Nowadays, when we want to go somewhere and we're not quite sure where we're supposed to be heading, some of us have access to GPS, a global positioning system that lets us follow a guide that is giving us directions based off of where we are in relation to where we're going. A signal gets sent from the device we are using, usually a phone or car computer, and gets sent out to a satellite. That signal returns with information about where you are and where you need to go. These signals are constantly pinging back and forth until you reach your destination. Of course, it all relies on you putting the correct information in the first place.
I really don't think this is the district office.
When you're ready. What can I get for you?
Yeah, can I get, even though GPS is a hugely scientific piece of technology, it's still ultimately a map.
Early map makers started documenting the world to make life easier, and that's true even today. How far is it from New Prague to Disney World? Look at a map. From Moose Mountain Adventure Golf Course to Nickelodeon Universe? Look at a map. How do you get from Craggy Cliffs to the Spire? Look at a map. People known as cartographers travel the world and write down what they see in the hopes that it makes life easier for others to find their way. Any luck?
Nope.
Still lost?
Yep.
A map should have a title, that way the reader knows what the map is about. It should have a compass that points north. There should be a date showing when it was produced so that we know it's new and current. The name of the author who created the map should be on there, as well as a legend that lets the reader know what all the symbols and lines mean on the map. And finally, a scale so that we know how much distance in real life is represented by a specific length on the map.
Tricky part of navigating is using a compass. On a map, it's going to be pointing north. It can be a little bit difficult figuring out where you're going just by looking around, and a compass can point you in the correct direction. North, south, east, and west are all represented on a compass. In between those, you've got northwest, northeast, southwest, so on and so forth. An actual compass works by using the magnetic fields that are present in Earth to interact with the magnets that are in the compass. This one on my phone works because technology is awesome and stuff. A map will tell you which way is north, which means the opposite way is south. East is one way, and west is the other way of that. As always, though, getting to your correct destination is entirely up to you.
Our world is always changing, and that's why it's important to have an updated map. New buildings, maybe the store you're looking for, move to a new location. If you have up-to-date information, you're more likely to be successful in your journey. Say if you're using a map from 2021, than a map from 1975. Well, according to this map, I should be at a gas station right now. Nope. This is a playground. I am definitely at a playground.
Maps are drawn to scale, which means that if you travel a mile in the real world, it doesn't require a mile of paper to follow along with for a map. Let's say, for instance, we're building a map that's going to get us from New Prague to Disney World. That's over 1,500 miles. We're not actually going to build a map that is that big. These are supposed to fit in pockets, and that'd be a lot of paper and wouldn't be too efficient. Instead, our map's going to have one of these. This is a scale for a map of Wisconsin, and what we can do is use this scale to help us figure out how far it is from one city to the next. Here, starting at 0, we go all the way over to the right, and this represents 20 miles. Or if we are measuring in the metric system, we go kilometers. This scale also has a key and tells us that 1 inch represents approximately 20 miles, and 1 centimeter represents approximately 12 kilometers. This is helpful if you're trying to figure out how far it is from, say, Milwaukee to Kenosha, if you want to go from Whitewater to Elkhorn, and if you know how fast you are going to travel, say 60 miles an hour or 70 miles an hour if you're traveling in a car on a freeway, well, you can also figure out how long it would take you, say, to go from Appleton to Green Bay. That is, if you had any interest in ever going to Green Bay. Well, who knows what happens now? I might be lost out here forever. I mean, yes, maps are helpful. When they're current, they have a clear title, a legend that explains the symbols, and they're drawn to the appropriate scale. They are helpful. I just need to get better at reading them. Excuse me, got a message here. Meeting is tomorrow, not today. Oh boy.